program at UND. Today we are going to be making a healthy, cheap, and easy spin on a classic grilled cheese sandwich. This Green Goddess grilled cheese sandwich is packed with nutrients and is the perfect lunch option when you need a quick meal that you can take on the go. One of my favorite things about this recipe is that it gives you the comfort of a classic grilled cheese sandwich, but it definitely has a healthy twist on there. There's so many nutrients in there, and along with that, it takes less than 30 minutes to make, and it requires simple ingredients that you probably have on hand. So now I'm going to go over the ingredients and supplies that you need in order to make the Green Goddess grilled cheese sandwich. So first you're going to need a Roma tomato, and then you're going to need spinach, mozzarella cheese, whole grain or multigrain bread, some eggs, half of an avocado, and whatever kind of butter or oil that you want to use. So I have the avocado oil plant-based butter, and I also will be using this olive oil as well. So one of the first and most important steps of the cooking process is hand washing. So I'm going to walk you guys through how to do this today. This is super important to prevent the spread of disease and cross-contamination. So I'm going to walk you through this. To properly wash your hands, you first turn on the tap, and you want this water to be pretty warm. And all you have to do is first wet your hands, and then apply soap. And you need to wash them for about 20 seconds. And it's really important that you're getting the back of your hand, between your fingers, underneath your nails. So like I said, I'm going to be doing this for 20 seconds. And this is really important to prevent the spread of disease, and especially during COVID times. It's really important to wash your hands after you touch your face, before you're cooking, and now when you go out in public places like grocery shopping or anything like that, especially with the pandemic. Alright, and then rinse your hands again with that warm water. Turn off the tap and dry them, and you are all good. Alright, so one of the first ingredients that we are going to be using is an avocado. So I'm just going to go over some quick tips for you guys that can be really helpful. So when you're shopping for avocados, it's really hard to tell the correct ripeness sometimes. So when you're shopping, just feel the avocado, and it should have a little bit of gentle pressure you should be able to apply. And if it's too mushy, then it's overly ripe, so don't choose that one. So like I said, just yielding to a firm, gentle pressure. Another thing is a nutrition tip about these. Avocados are full of healthy fats, fiber, and potassium, which keep you fuller for longer. So now I'm going to be showing you guys how to cut an avocado for this recipe. Now, when you're cutting this, you're going to be using a paring knife. That really works well. So, to start off, it's really helpful to cut the ends off. So you just cut the end here, and then cut this end with your paring knife. And then we're only going to be using half of an avocado for this recipe. So you just cut it in half and make sure your fingers are not in the way. And just follow this all the way around. Then you just show this. And the half that has the pit in it, that's a half that you can use for storing purposes. So we're going to be using this half for the avocado. And then you're just going to be making a few vertical cuts, and be careful that you aren't cutting all the way to the back. And then just cut right here. And there's that half of an avocado that we'll be using for this recipe. Okay, so the next ingredient that we're going to be using is one Roma tomato. So going over some of the nutrition facts of the Roma tomatoes, they are really high in fiber, vitamin A, and vitamin C. So that's really boosting the nutritional value of this meal. So now I'm going to show you guys how to slice up this tomato. The first step is to rinse it off, which I already have done. But just to remove any dirt that could possibly be on there, and just make sure it's nice and clean. So I'm using a paring knife for this as well. So once your tomato is washed, we're just going to be cutting it in horizontal slices. So I'll show you guys how to do that here. Make sure you have a good grip on it so it doesn't slip out of your hands, and make sure that you have your fingers out of the way. So you just cut in these horizontal slices. And you want these to be pretty thin, but not too thin that you're still gonna have quite a bit of your sandwich there. And there you go, that's what you end up with. Okay, so for the next step, we are gonna be using 2 eggs in this recipe, so we're going to be cooking them on this pan. So you're gonna get a small pan out and just set it to like a low to medium heat. And then you're gonna wanna lightly oil it. I'll be using olive oil today, but you can just use Pam Cooking Oil or butter or whatever your preference is. So I'm just gonna put a little dollop in here, just enough to completely coat the pan. And then just kind of swirl that around until the pan is completely coated. And we're gonna let that heat up while we're going to crack the eggs in. So for this recipe, we are going to be making 2 sandwiches, meaning we are going to have 2 eggs. So I have my 2 eggs here, and we're just going to be cracking them into a small bowl first, just in case we get any shells in there. So I'm gonna be just cracking these first. So it's just the best idea to just crack it on the side of the bowl like this. Right in there. And right in here. So once you have them in the bowl like this, I didn't have any shells, but if you have any shells, you can just take them out right away. And then you're just going to be putting them directly into this pan. And it will be best if the eggs are hard for this sandwich, so just crack the yolk a little bit so it can fully cook. Alright, so we're waiting for these to cook. I'll give you guys some quick nutrition tips. So eggs are an awesome source of protein and also a really good source of healthy fats, and they're only 70 calories. And they're also super cost effective. It's only 10 cents for 1 egg, and since we're using 2, that will be a total of 20 cents. A quick little shopping tip for you guys. When you're shopping for eggs, make sure that you're looking at the carton first, just to make sure that there's no cracked eggs, because that would definitely be a waste of your money. Also, a quick little cross-contamination warning. Eggs can be a source of cross-contamination, so you want to make sure that you are having them fully cooked before they come in contact with any vegetables or the bread or anything else in this recipe. And an internal temperature tip, eggs do need to be 165 degrees, so it's really important that you check that. Okay, so now that this side of the egg is fully cooked, we're gonna flip them over. So just flip the first egg, and then flip the second egg. We're just gonna give it a little more time on this side to make sure we're getting that fully cooked. Now I'm gonna be going over some of the health benefits that are associated with the next ingredients in this Green Goddess grilled cheese sandwich. So one really awesome thing is that we're going to be adding spinach into this. So that's one thing that's really going to be boosting the nutritional value compared to that original grilled cheese sandwich. So this has folate, magnesium, vitamin K. So spinach is awesome for you. And just 1 handful is a great way to just get some of those good vitamins in. We are going to be using this multi-grain bread today. That's a really good source of fiber and those healthy carbohydrates. And using this instead of the traditional white bread also does bump the nutritional value. And we are going to be using mozzarella cheese today. This is a really great source of calcium, but one thing to keep in mind is that just 1 slice of this cheese is 78 calories, so that is pretty calorically dense. So that is just something to be mindful of just in your daily dietary habits. Alright, so now we're going to be getting to the fun part, which is when we're actually assembling the sandwich. So the first thing that we're going to do is get some kind of butter. Today I will be using avocado oil, which is a plant-based butter. And the first step that we're going to be doing is buttering the outsides of our whole grain bread. So I'm going to be doing that here. So just take a knife and then just lightly butter the outsides here. And that'll just give you like that really crispy sandwich. That'll be super good. Okay, so once that side is lightly buttered, you can do the other side as well. All right, so now we're gonna be adding all of our ingredients to the sandwich here. So once you have your 2 pieces of bread here, we're going to be adding 1 slice of, or 2 slices of the avocado here. Just right there on the sandwich. And then once you do that, we're going to top that with 1 slice of that mozzarella cheese. All right, so add that right on top of the avocado. So once you have that, we're going to take 2 slices of that Roma tomato that we had cut up and add that on top of the mozzarella. And then we're going to add 1 more slice of that mozzarella cheese again. And this sandwich is pretty cheesy, so you can definitely modify if you choose. Okay. Then once you have that added, we are going to add our cooked egg. And then you're going to add a little spinach on top there. Just a little bit, you don't want it to be too full. And then add your slice of bread. And then it'll be ready to be cooked. And this recipe does call for 2 sandwiches, so you can just repeat these steps for the second one. Now we're going to get to actually cooking the sandwich. So the first step here is you're going to get a pan, and you will need a fitted lid that fits with that pan. And then you are going to want to butter the pan. I'm just using that avocado oil again, that plant-based butter. And then you're just going to put that inside of the pan, this heated pan, so it melts a little bit faster here. And just make sure that it's all coated. Okay, so once that is done, we can get to the sandwich. So I have our sandwich right here. So you're just going to put it directly into the pan. And you're going to want to let this cook for 5 minutes on each side on that low to medium heat. And then you're going to grab your fitted lid and just set that on top, and then set a timer for 5 minutes and just let that cook. Okay, so it has been 5 minutes, and so the sandwich is ready to be flipped. So just grab a spatula here. Just be careful when you're flipping it. Oh. That's okay, that happens. You just kind of got to readjust it. There you go. And then just give it another 5 minutes with the lid on, and you will be all set. Okay, so it's been 5 minutes, so that means the sandwich is all done. So it's ready to go on the plate now. So as you can see, it turned out super good. I hope you guys enjoy your green goddess grilled cheese sandwich.